Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Tim Lee, and I'm a mining analyst here at Red Cloud Securities. We welcome Paul Cowley, President and CEO of Phenom Resources. He will speak to us about Phenom's Carlin project in Nevada, which has the unusual situation of hosting a vanadium resource above a Carlin-type gold target. Paul, you have 10 minutes, and then we'll have a few minutes of Q&A at the end of the session. Attendees, please feel free to ask questions using the Q&A link below. Take it away, Paul.
Thank you very much, Tim, and thank you everyone for tuning in. Phenom Resources, which was formerly First Vanadium, for those that were following our story, it's a very strong and unique storyline here. And it's, as Tim mentioned, we're in Nevada, but in the Carlin Gold Trend, which is the best part of Nevada for gold, and a very unique situation where we have a vanadium resource that we've focused on for 3 years. Now we're focused on the gold system that's below that, and on the same property, which is very, very unique. And we're a company that's run and operated by very serious professional engineers and geologists with basically over 450 years of industry experience, right from discovery of deposits to operating and building mines. So I'll move forward. I'm going to make some forward-looking statements. This presentation, there's quite a bit of material in here that I'm going to just hit the highlights. So this is a good presentation to come back to when you have some time to go deeper into it, if it's of interest to you. And I think it is very interesting. So as mentioned, we're in Nevada, the best part of Nevada, with a double play with this vanadium resource at surface, and below that is this Carlin gold system that we are exploring right now. That vanadium resource is the largest, highest grade vanadium resource. And I'll talk a little bit about vanadium in a second here, but just introducing the company. As I mentioned, really experienced people. We're engineers and geologists who have worked for major mining companies on major projects around the world, and including people from discovery to building mines and operating mines around the world. Very unique in that depth of skill sets. And including from our gold search, we've got two geologists, myself and Dave Mathewson, who have found gold deposits in our career. So you've got very, very high quality, accomplished people that have done it before. Our near-term focus is making a Carlin-style high-grade gold deposit underneath the vanadium resource, and directed by Dave Mathewson. But our longer-term vision is to become a vanadium producer from our vanadium resource there. And that is really unique in our situation. It provides, having vanadium and gold and projects at different stages makes it very unique, sizzle as well as protection. So the vanadium resource, which has got a PEA level, an economic study, it's literally $3.5 billion of vanadium in the ground. So that's a backstop, if you like, or support of our company. It's a very good asset. And then you've got this gold opportunity that's underneath that we're exploring. That has some tremendous upside opopportunity. I'm going to just talk very briefly about vanadium again, because, and again, I know a lot of people have been following our story, but not so, that there will be people that will be listening that not so haven't been following it. But vanadium is a metal that's used to strengthen steel. But you're going to see vanadium change its emphasis into the green energy space, because there's batteries, redox flow batteries for solar and wind farms that are really that's superior from the lithium type batteries. That's going to start to take a bigger bite into the production the annual global production of vanadium. And more so, there is a phenomenal revolutionary vanadium battery. It's a solid state vanadium battery that's coming out of Japan that is applicable for EV cars. And they're going into production next year. We're talking to them, potentially doing a joint venture with them. I think this is going to be a game changer for vanadium, because as you know, in the lithium chemistry batteries for EV, all the metals like copper, nickel, cobalt, there's just not going to be enough. Same thing is going to happen with vanadium. You're going to see a real big shift in the next 1 to 3 years where vanadium is dominantly being consumed for green energy space and not so much on the steel. Couple of things about our project, as I mentioned, and again, just highlights here, but we've got a preliminary economic assessment done on it from last summer. A couple of the key things is, yeah, this is $3.5 billion of metal in the ground. So it's a very, very serious project. It's the largest, highest grade vanadium deposit in North America. And you can see from this chart of all the producers of vanadium around the world where our operating costs would be. We're just around $5 a pound. Current prices of vanadium sitting at about $8-9 a pound right now. So we're in a very good competitive edge against all these other producers here. Look at our company. We have 75 million shares out. Very, very well positioned. It's a retail dominated company. Share structure, very, very good shareholders, very strong shareholders from Europe and the US and Canada, and letter writers that are following us too. This is our stock performance over the last year. You can see we've gone from like the 20-cent mark a year and a half ago into the 50 to 70 cent range, just because of, you know, we're delivering. This is basically a chart of the time that we have been focused on our gold. You can see that there's good uptick in the latter part of the months. Here is when we've been drilling over the summertime. It's a little bit of up and down here with people probably profit taking, but we're still staying in a nice between the 50 to 70 cent range. We've got about $2 million left, and we're drilling like we've been drilling since June, late June, and we're still drilling. We expect to be drilling on our projects till November sometime, and then that's as far as we can project at this point. So just to talk about the gold project, which is the gold underneath the vanadium resource. We're in the Carlin trend. It shows Nevada and the best trend to be in, which is dominated by Newmont Barrick. They're doing production, and they wait for the juniors to make the discoveries. So that's what we're all about. We're very, very well located, incredibly well located between Salt Lake City and Reno along I-80. We're right in that same valley where the Carlin trend is. Our project is south of the town of Carlin, we're basically 13 miles away from Gold Quarry, which is a 50 million ounce gold deposit that Newmont mined. Infrastructure is phenomenal. I-80, I'm sorry. I-80 and the towns of Carlin and Elko are steeped in mining. It's a phenomenal infrastructure. One of the main things is that we, with Phenom, and the gold search. I'm sorry, just get rid of this phone call. This gold search is being directed by someone, well, two geologists that have found 10 gold deposit discoveries. You just can't find that in a junior. Dave Mathewson is the key guy here. He's found 6 deposits in the Carlin trend, so very applicable. My discoveries are up in the Northwest Territories. One of them is Canada's fourth highest grade gold deposit, a mine in operation. So very, very accomplished people, and we know what we're doing. There's a picture of Dave in the Carlin trend here. He has worked in this trend with Newmont and Gold Standard Ventures for decades. It's hard to find someone as qualified as Dave. He's probably top 5 in the world knowing these deposits. And he made major contributions in the main trends, main Carlin trend at Gold Quarry, at Mike, at Leeville, contributing to a team that found tens of millions of ounces of gold, and then himself directing projects specifically in the southern part of the trend, 6 deposits. That's the area that we're focused on in our area. But without Dave, we're just the average exploring company in Nevada. This gives us head and shoulders above that. He's a tremendous guy and tremendous explorer. Can't say enough about it. We work very well together. This is our project area south of Carlin. There's the town of Carlin. This is the southern part of the trend. Very well located here. The Gold Standard Ventures, if people have followed that story, is in this area here. All these red blotches are deposits and mines, 9 million ounces of gold. They're along these northwest and north-south trending structures. We're on this north-south structure that we've been focused on. You can see in orange, these are our land position. This is the area, our southern claims, and then we picked up this other area. So we have 3 of 4 square miles of this trend. This one gap area is owned by Newmont Barrick, the Nevada Gold Mines. And what's curious is the geophysics shows very similar gravity high along these structures that are associated with these deposits. Our IP, we've done additional geophysics. IP is showing the structure and the system through these southern claims, and then we've done IP on this northern claim, and it's still continuing. So it's obvious that we're looking at a very big system, literally 4 square miles of a system here that we control 3 square miles of that. Probably don't have time to talk about this, but we do have good surface evidence of that they've used to justify the target below the vanadium resource. There's gold on surface, there's dolomite, very big alteration on surface that helped Dave, justify this drilling. Now last fall we ended up drilling into this system. No one's ever drilled below the vanadium resource in this area until we did that last fall, and sure enough, there's a system below there. On the right-hand side is the model. Basically, upper plate rock is this purple area, and this is where the vanadium resource is, right at surface. And below at the Roberts Mountains thrust is lower plate rocks, Devonian and Devonian, Rodeo Creek and Popovich formations. What's really important, these are the formations that host the big deposits up the Carlin trend. I'm going to go back couple slides here, because this is also a very, very important thing. All the deposits on the east side of this north-south fault are in the Rain Railroad area. The deposits are smaller and different stratigraphy from the west side. The west side, where we've been drilling, is correlative or analogous to the rocks that host the big deposits like Gold Quarry, like Gold Strike, further up the trend. This is a huge distinction, and that's one of the things why we think that there's a big opportunity for us. And so our gold target is below in the lower plate rocks to the side. This is the IP anomaly. In cross-section, you can see the high chargeability. Our drilling has indicated that the chargeability is definitely an expression of the high sulfides that are there. I'm going to move on to this particular. How are we doing for time, Jim? Tim?
We're just about out of time. We've got about 30 seconds left, Paul.
Okay, so just this is our IP anomaly, which is an expression of the sulfides. It's 1.5 kilometers long on this part here, 0.5 kilometer wide. We've been focusing on our drilling in this area along this corridor. We've already put out a news release that we have seen all the ingredients of these systems with the brecciation, the sulfides, the silicification, dolomitization. And we will be putting out news about our drilling as we go. We're still drilling there, so there's more to be had, and we're getting assays in all the time. So please stand by while we pull all of our assays together and be able to put out a news release. But very interesting to see this anomaly continues onto this ground here, which is Nevada Gold Mines, and then for a mile further continues. So it's a big system. I think we're probably out of time. I'm sorry I don't have time for questions, but thank you very much for